What's up guys, Mad J Man here, and if you want to know all about everything that was added in Volume 9, I've got you covered. First of all, I just want to say that Volume 9 is absolutely the best Need for Speed update ever, and I can safely say that Criterion and Team Kaizen well and truly cooked with this update.
Someone cooked here.
I mean, there's almost everything any Need for Speed fan could want in this update. A crazy new game mode that's super fun from start to finish, new innovative and engaging ways to earn money, and most of all, the nostalgic vibe. So they really hit it out the park with this one. Right, so as I did say in this video, I'm going to cover everything that was added in Volume 9, from the new lockdown mode to the new playlist and everything in between. Let's go. Alright, so first let's start with the Speed Pass. Now this Speed Pass has a lot of great content included, even on the Free Pass. For me, the rims are always going to be one of the things I look forward to the most, just because I love when they add new wheels and they're yet to disappoint with any of the new wheels that they've added. Also, have you seen the effects that you can get? They actually look insane. I especially love the graffiti effects because they look very similar to the cartoon effects that are already in the game, but the style they've gone for this time round just looks so damn good. I think if I had to pick my favourite wheels out of all the ones they've added, it definitely has to be these ones. Now if you don't know why they've added this BRZ as a Legends custom, it's because this is the same BRZ from the Need for Speed 2015 gameplay demo. I really like what they've done here for the 30th anniversary M3 GTR. They've got a wrap that meshes together the most iconic cars in the franchise. You've got Eddie's Skyline, you've got Rachel 350Z, the M3 GTR from Most Wanted, and they've got ASAP Rocky's Mercedes in there too. I'm not too sure I like what they've done with the wheels personally, but I can see what they were going for and I like the idea. Alright, so let's talk about all things lockdown, starting with the wrap sheet. Now this is a wrap sheet. It shows your lifetime wrap that you've built up while playing lockdown. There's lots of ways to build wrap and it tracks across all of your lockdown sessions. As well as lifetime wrap, you also have weekly wrap, which you can see on the right hand side, and this is a challenge set by Racer X, who we now know is Razor. Now as you can see, there's different levels of wrap targets set by Razor, and the rewards that you can get can range from just bonus XP, cosmetics, to even custom rides. Alright, so let's talk about the contracts. So there's 4 contracts, and inside those contracts there's multiple subcontracts. Now to complete these subcontracts, you need to complete the challenges to unlock the next one. Now most of them give cash and rep, but there's a few cards in there too. Now one of the contracts is locked until you reach 300,000 lifetime rep, which should be pretty easy to hit for most players. You can probably hit it in like 1 or 2 sessions of lockdown. I mean, as you can see, I've got 185k rep, and that's just after 1 session of lockdown, playing for about 30 minutes. And in that contract, you can unlock a Bugatti Chiron and a McLaren P1 GTR to keep. Then of course we have the Blacklist contracts. Now I absolutely love most of these, but some of the decisions in terms of the cars used are confusing to me. Like choosing the old Civic for Sunny when we have the 2015 Golf GTI, which would have made so much more sense, is an interesting decision, and I'd love to know why they did that. Same thing with JV and the LaFerrari when the Viper is right there. Ronnie in a GTR when we have the DB11 and the DB11 Volante. And Bull in the McLaren 600 LT when the 4GT is right there. Right, now I'm going to be straight with you guys. I don't know why I thought Bull had a 4GT when he had an SLR McLaren. So a 600 LT actually makes sense for him. My bad on that one, guys. Some of them are pretty cool though, like Webster still has a Corvette, but it's a C8, so it's a feasible upgrade from the C6 that he previously had. But overall, I'm a fan of the Blacklist contracts. So in lockdown, it's a 3-player party, so you can party up with 2 friends, or if you don't have anyone to party up with, the game will find people to put you with. So don't worry, you'll never be going in solo, unless of course you want to embrace your challenge and go in solo. You can press this option here and it will no longer try to put you with other players. Now when you first load into lockdown, you can only pick a B class car. However, that can change. When you make a successful extraction, you gain a streak, and each time you make an extraction, that streak continues, and with each successful extraction, you unlock the next class of cars to use in lockdown. But if you fail to make an extraction, you will lose that streak, meaning you have to start back from B class and build up that streak again. So once you spawn in the lockdown mode, there's loot all around the map consisting of various amounts of cash that you can collect to increase your individual loot. Now, these boxes of cash increase once you enter the lockdown zone, which is a zone where the loot rewards are higher, but your car also takes damage while in the zone. So it's a high risk, high reward situation. You'll be able to see where the lockdown zone is by going onto the map and looking at the red squares. Another way you can make money is Razer will send out invites to races that you can participate in, and whatever money you earn from that race adds to your own individual loot pool. And there's also extra money around the track like there is in free roll, which also adds to your loot pool, so that's pretty cool. Now whilst playing lockdown, you can actually collect pursuit tech around the map and use it on rivals to destroy them and take their loot for yourself. You can also jack their car as well as many other cars parked around the map, and if you successfully extract it, you can use it for 24 hours in the lockdown mode. But if you get your car jacked and they successfully extract it, you lose it for 24 hours. When you do successfully extract a jacked ride, when you go to my rides in the lockdown mode, it should look something like this. So let's talk about the lockups and hot rides. So scattered around the map, there are several lockups with these hot rides. Now you can either pay 100k for Razors to open the gate, which gets taken out of your loot pool, or if you get the bike, you can get into the lockup for free. Now when I first played it, I thought it was bugged because the gates didn't open, but that's because the gates aren't supposed to open. You're actually supposed to go in round the side, which is why you need the bike because the path is so narrow. So once you're into the lockup and you've got the car, just wait for the extraction van to pop up, unless of course you want to stay and collect more loot and add to your rap sheet for more rewards. Once you've extracted the car, it's yours to keep forever. Now here I actually managed to find and jack a Pagani Huayra from the lockup, and although I did miss the first truck, I was able to survive until the second truck appeared, so I could successfully extract the Pagani.
Cops won't touch you in here. Enjoy the ride.
So once you have successfully extracted, it'll also tell you what challenges you completed in that session, your rap sheet for that session, your weekly rap rank, which at the time of recording this was 0 because the challenges weren't out yet, and lastly your current streak. Alright, let's get into one of the big talking points for Volume 9, the bike. So first off, there are 4 bike playlists to choose from, consisting of a mixture of both new tracks designed specifically for the bikes and existing tracks. Speaking about the bike itself, the physics and handling are actually really good, and of course the bike is stupid quick too. I gotta say, considering this is the first bike ever in Need for Speed history, for this to not feel out of place at all in a game that has historically always been about cars, they've done a cracking job on this bike. So, the new cars then. I'm going to start with the Subaru Impreza. Now, I was only able to test this car stock in the PvP playlist, so I couldn't really get a proper feel for the car with my own handling and whatnot, but it felt pretty decent to drive. Definitely felt a little heavier than I thought it would feel, and the gearing wasn't great, but again, this was stock, so I'll have to wait and see how it is when I get my hands on it. Take a look at the customization though, there's some really nice body kits available for it, and of course you can mix and match parts to make it look how you want it to look. Moving on to the Integra, now this is a car that's part of the Premium Speed Pass. Luckily, it's quite early on in the Speed Pass, so I have it already and I was able to fully upgrade it. I tried this car in an A+ race and it definitely held its own against some pretty capable competition. In terms of handling, obviously it has the Kaizen handling, so it handles well and it doesn't understeer much, which is great, especially for a front wheel drive car which is usually more prone to understeer. Like the Subaru, the Integra also gets free body kits and they're all really nice too. Personally, I like the body kits on this one better, but that's just my preference. Again, rather than the lockdown spec custom, I would have loved to see the wide body kit variant of the Integra from Need for Speed Underground with the Samurai livery on it, even though it's not the same model. Overall though, I really love both of these cars. I think they're both great additions to the game. I mean, are there cars I would have rather seen added over these cars? Of course, but that doesn't mean I can't appreciate both of these cars for what they are. So, onto the new playlist added for Volume 9, and first up we've got the Most Wanted Thief playlist, of which there are 3. 2 of them are basically endurance races because they're just one long race, and the other is a normal race playlist. In these playlists, every player is obviously locked into choosing the BMW M3 GTR, but that's not the only Most Wanted related thing about these playlists. If you look at the names of the races, they're also references to Most Wanted. For example, I Rock, I Roll was the name of one of the songs from the Most Wanted soundtrack. Same with My Hood, and I'm sure the rest are also references too, so I thought that was pretty cool. Alright, now let's talk about the other new playlists that they added, starting off with the new Drift Pro playlist. So they added 4 new Drift Pro playlists in total, 1 S Plus and the other 3 are in S. Now I absolutely love drifting, so new Drift Pro playlists are always a welcome addition. But I do wish they added at least another B-Class Drift Pro playlist, because currently there's only one and it would be nice to drift our B cars around some new tracks. Speaking of new tracks, the new ones they added are all really fun tracks, but I've got to say my favourites have got to be Landslide and Origami. Landslide is a nice mix of wide turns and tight ones, and the location is perfect too. Origami is such a tight spiral track and it presents a nice challenge for the drifters in the community. And the reason I like this track so much is that it's unique. There's no other drift track in the game quite like Origami. So, on top of the new Drift Pro playlist and the Most Wanted playlist, they also dropped 18 new playlists that have been featured between Volume 6 and Volume 9 and made them playable with our own vehicles in each corresponding class. For example, if we take a look at this playlist here, S5 Showdown, which was originally released in Volume 6 with the Audi cars, where we could only pick the Audi S5, well now they've added those playlists, but now we're open to use our own cars. So if you look at all these playlists now, they all have the same name, but they've added open to and then whichever tier the playlist was originally for. This is amazing because it gives us so many new tracks to test and race on in our own cars. Honestly, this might be the most underrated thing to come out of Volume 9. So this track here isn't actually an open playlist, although it is one of the new ones added for Volume 9. This one here though is a Regera only playlist, so for those of you that love the Regera, this one's for you. So I think that about covers everything new for Volume 9. Let me know if I've missed anything. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 things I may have missed. Let me know how you're liking Volume 9, and do you agree that it's the best update ever? If you don't like Volume 9, what is it that you don't like about it? What could Criterion and Team Kaizen have done better? And what would you have liked to see in Volume 9? Let me know how you feel about it in the comments below. I know this was quite a long video, so if you did make it this far and you're still watching, thank you so much for sticking around. I appreciate you so much. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.